Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a busy few weeks since you last heard from me. I did say I was only going to do it semi-regularly. I am speaking to you all the way from Cornwall. We are dog sitting and house sitting for Em's parents, so that's going to change a little bit of how I'm going to train this week. But you're probably asking, it's been a few weeks, Tim. How's the marathon training going? Are the wheels still falling off? The last time we were here, I had just finished a 10K race with my friends Jake and Em, and then you heard about my little fight with food poisoning, and therefore had to change my training a little bit. My original plan was to start gently ramping up from that point on, which I believe was 5 weeks ago. At that time, I was doing 50K a week, and I was gonna add on 8 to 10K a week, slowly up to about 100K, 100 kilometers a week. And I was aiming to keep that 100K a week peak for about 3 weeks before beginning to taper. However, with the food poisoning, that changed. I essentially missed out on 2 weeks of training, or like 2 weeks of hitting goals, which meant that to catch up, or to the subsequent weeks, I ramped up a little bit more aggressively. On race week, I did about 45 kilometers, and then I got sick. And at the end of that sickness, I managed to squeeze about 43 kilometers. I was meant to do about 55 that week. So maybe rather foolishly, I took a gamble and I jumped up to 65 kilometers the week after. A big jump. Most people say you should really increase your volume by about 5-10%. I took a gamble on the fitness that I had. And then the week after, 72 kilometers, and then 80 kilometers. And then the week before this video was shot, 90 kilometers. Included in that 9 kilometers was a 36.5 kilometers long run, which should be the longest run I'll do in this block. The next few long runs, we're looking back at 34 kilometers. In that time, I've experimented with a combination of different things. Some weeks I was doing double intervals. Some weeks I was doing intervals before the long run, just to figure out what was working for me. I've even tried a few double days, interval first half of the day, and then easy run in the second half, just to figure out what worked for me. Now, I've ruled out a few things. You know, I said interval in the morning, and then easier in the evening. That was too much. Double intervals throughout the week with a big long run, given this is my first marathon, was also too much. So I've eventually front loaded. Now, what I found that was comfortable for me was front loading my intervals early in the week. And then I'm having an easy day before my long run day, which varies depending on which day my day off is. And if I do a double day, the double day will have an easier run, easier longish run, easier mid-duration, mid-distance run, and then at most a short tempo run in the early evening. And the day before the long run will also be an easy-ish day, maybe like a zone 2, 10K the day before, no more. Also, unintended, as I am building up this volume, I've also learned a few more things about myself that I didn't know, like places that I didn't realize could get chafing are getting chafing. This week, I'm going to try experimenting with different gels to see what works for me and what doesn't, and maybe trying to figure out fueling strategies, because I've now experience some form of upset stomach. Nothing horrible, but definitely some discomfort, which is fine. This is what training is for. This is what you do, like a rehearsal before the main event. You figure out what's good and what's not good for you. This week, as you might have known, we're in Cornwall, which is going to be a big one. This is going to be my first 100K week on very uneven surfaces. On my first day here, 2 days ago, I did a 15K run and the total elevation was about double of my 36K run last week. So this week, pacing is all out the window. I'm gonna focus all on maintaining heart rate and trying to build a little bit more strength in the body. Yeah, trying to let the ego aside, ignoring the pace on the watch, and just trying to figure out how to not get injured while increasing volume, while also using this as an opportunity to build my strength, which hopefully helps down the road. So that's me in my current phase of marathon training. I've also tried to get a few more videos planned, so some exciting stuff hopefully coming along the way, which includes a fundraiser and the reason behind why I'm fundraising for that. So stay tuned, pray for me, pray that I don't get injured. I'm feeling good, feeling strong. Only 5 weeks up to the marathon now. See you in the next one.